Welcome to Extraterrestrial Reality. Today we're going to be talking about a gentleman from Texas, a rancher who has used drugs throughout his life for meditation purposes, psychedelic drugs, but he never saw a UFO or alien while under the influence of those drugs. But he has seen UFOs while sober. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Hayden, a rancher from Texas, he wants to put to rest the idea that only people who are under the influence of alcohol or drugs see UFOs. I've talked about this a lot in the show sometimes. They always like to do that, don't they? Debunkers will one of the excuses, oh, he must have been drunk or maybe he was high. That's one of the excuses they like to use. But according to Hayden here, he's tried psychedelic drugs throughout his life to help with his meditation practices. But he's never seen anything like UFOs or aliens while under the influence. However, on other instances, when there was nothing, when he was doing nothing, stayed away from drugs, he did see UFOs, and he actually has a video to go along with one of his sightings. We're going to talk about what Hayden has to say right now. Now, I'm not going to use his full name here. That's Hayden is his name. He's he's actually from Afton, Texas, and he provided me. He sent me a few different emails. We corresponded back and forth a couple of times, and now he told me it's okay to share his story with everyone on the podcast here who watches the podcast. So this is what he sent me. And we'll go through this report that he sent me. He says, "Dear Mr. Quirk, I want to begin by sincerely thanking you for all the work and dedication you've shown toward UAP and alien topic, especially the Las Vegas case. Please do not stop pushing for answers on this one. Your persistence and openness to explore complex phenomena have made a real difference for many of us who quietly watch and listen from afar. My name is Hayden. I'm a 39-year-old man living and working in Texas. I come from a very remote part of the state called Afton. The population here is about 200 people, less by now, mostly ranchers and farmers spread out by thousands of acres. To give you an idea of just how isolated it is, there were only 8 of us in my high school graduating class, counting myself. The reason I mention how small and spread out this area is because solitude shapes people in different ways. With limited social life, I spent much of my time lost in books and studies, everything from Russian ballet to ancient languages like German, Greek, and Hebrew, which I learned to translate older Middle Eastern religious texts, though I never did find a good God in them. German is needed for very old Luther Bible texts. One summer, while tending my garden and collecting cherry tomatoes, I had the idea to study folk and shamanic traditions, breathing work, herbal practices, and the use of substances to reach altered states of consciousness. Over the next few years, I experimented with meditation, cannabis, and later natural psychedelics, including LSD. These experiences opened the door to exploring the inner workings of my own mind. I suppose today I'd be called a psychonaut. I've spent years diving deep into altered states, but despite all that, I've never once seen a UFO or alien while under the influence. That's why your recent interview with the young man from Las Vegas caught my attention so strongly." Let me just stop there for a second. He's talking about that recent podcast where I had John on from Las Vegas, who was talking about some of his, he has this connection with UFOs. It was a very interesting show. If you haven't seen it, I recommend you check it out. That's what he's referring to there. Anyway, continuing, he writes, "From my perspective and experience, he seems to have an extraordinary degree of neuroplasticity, the brain's natural ability to reorganize and adapt. His descriptions of feeling shifts or changes in perception align closely with what can occur during deep meditation or certain altered states. When he mentioned losing sound during those moments, I immediately recognized that sensation. It's something I've experienced myself during meditation or at higher doses of psychedelics, such as mushrooms, 6 to 8 grams typically. What's fascinating is how naturally he seems to enter these states without chemical assistance. I would love to see his brainwave activity studied. My guess is that he could easily transition from alpha through beta and into theta states with minimal effort as long as he isn't consciously trying to force it. This also connects to delta waves, the deep sleep state where endogenous DMT release is thought to occur. As you know, DMT is naturally produced in mammals, and some believe it contributes to vivid dreaming or even near-death experiences. DMT is also found in many plants. I won't go too far into that subject. For context, I've had powerful DMT experiences myself, encounters with complex geometrical realms and strange intelligent forms that others have also described seeing. It's a remarkable overlap between minds. Researchers at the Cottonwood Research Foundation have explored these experiences in depth, and their work is well worth reviewing if you haven't already. But here's what stands out the most to me. Despite years of intense psychedelic exploration, I've never seen a UAP or alien being while high. Yet, I have seen 3 UAP in my life, 2 while completely sober and clean for months, and 1 while not under any active influence. The third sighting occurred in Lubbock, Texas during a monthly shopping trip. I recorded a short video, which I'll send along with this email. The clip is brief because I'd seen that same kind of UAP before, diamond-shaped, silent, and seemingly connected to sightings near the Amarillo weapons facility, which I know you've discussed in a previous episode. I have never seen them move, never dart about, just appear, hang suspended, and then fade away. Anyone saying booze or drugs cause UAP/alien sightings is full of you-know-what. He didn't say you know what. He said something else, but you know what he said. Oh, and if you need further information about the UAP video, I can provide location, time, and weather. I have reported, but very few people found it interesting. I also tried UFO Reddit. I will not do that again. Yeah, UFO Reddit ain't a good place, I'll tell you sometimes. It really doesn't seem like too good of a place. Sometimes I like using Reddit for some of the other subreddits, but UFO Reddit sometimes I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, he closes it out saying, thank you again, Mr. Quirk, for your hard work and thoughtful approach to this topic. Please keep digging into the Las Vegas case. It deserves the full light of inquiry. Thank you very much, Hayden, for submitting this. And I did contact him again because I wanted to get some more data with regard to the UFO sighting that he filmed, and that's what we're going to pull up on the screen here in a second. Yeah, now I took the audio off of this video because I'm playing it right now. It's very short. I was just playing it in a loop. It's only let's see here, how long is it? It's only the video is only 8.10 seconds long, but I did I did zoom in on it, and this is the zoomed in version here that I'm playing right now, so you could check that out. And as you can see, it's just this is what Hayden had filmed in Lubbock, Texas recently, and this is the information that he provided. We'll just play the video. This is the zoomed in version. We'll play while I read the other email that he sent to me. This is what he wrote. He says, my second sighting, UAP sighting location was Lubbock, Texas, October 12th, 2024 at 8:32 p.m. The sighting duration, short. It was less than 2 minutes. The weather was clear night, random gusts of wind, 12 to 15 miles per hour, typical for the area. But here's what he wrote. He says, as I turned into a parking lot, I noticed a vivid, bright light in the sky based on its size and position. I estimated it was between 300 and 1,000 feet in the air, having lived in a remote area surrounded by wind turbines. I've learned to gauge height and distance fairly accurately. The turbines near my home are about 300 feet tall, located roughly 17 miles away. The UAP was about 3 miles away from me, as you will see in the attached screenshots. Once I spotted the UAP, I stopped the vehicle, I began recording with my phone and braced my arms to stabilize the shot. The short recording lasts about as long as the actual sighting. Within a minute of stopping the recording, the UAP blinked out and was gone, leaving nothing visible in the sky. In the video, the shape is hard to make out, but to my eyes, it appeared diamond-shaped. I've seen this same shape before, or one very similar, during a previous sighting at my home. That second sighting occurred late one winter night under a bright boar moon, as we call it here, the best nights for hog hunting. I had gone outside after hearing the chickens upset and saw the objects hovering about a mile or closer east over my land. The moonlight illuminated it enough to see its outline clearly again, a diamond shape with an amber red light like what's seen in my recent video. There was no sound, no motion, just cold stillness. Then, exactly like the third sighting, it blinked out and vanished. That night, I was completely sober, no drugs for a month plus. I have no proof of the second sighting. One thing that struck me was the reaction of my cattle. The yearling heifers in the north pasture had all moved to the northwest corner, behavior they usually show when bad weather is coming. They were clearly reacting to something unusual. I've raised cattle for a long time, and I know when something spooks them. I keep the yearling heifers just north of my house so I can keep my eye on them. And when they are pregnant, I can easily scan for them with binoculars from my back deck or deer stand in the backyard. Sometimes new heifers will have issues giving birth. I've experienced cattle deaths before, but only among older heifers. I keep my older heifers as long as I can. I like to retire them for as long as they are not in clear pain or going blind and able to eat. No odd cattle deaths to report. So that's one good thing. Hayden's reporting as a rancher, he's never had any sort of cattle mutilations on his ranch, so that, he's lucky in that sense. But he has seen some UFOs, as we see here on the video that's playing, and this is one that occurred on October 12th, 2024, in Lubbock, Texas. And I guess I found this story interesting because it's somebody who's admitting to the using drugs throughout his life to expand his meditation practices, as he stated. But he never saw anything. But when he was sober, on 3 different occasions, he saw UFOs, diamond-shaped UFOs. Now, in the close-up version of that, you could see that it's really hard to tell. So I find Hayden's story very interesting. I did say this once before. I know I said this on a show recently. In my younger days, I used to drink hard. Pennsylvania, I have Irish in my blood. I don't know if that has, it seems like there's a stereotype with that. But whatever the case, right? When I was, especially in my younger days, throughout in my 20s, I sometimes I would get bombed. That's how that's how it is. But I never saw anything. Never saw anything while under the influence of anything. I never had any sort of hallucinations or anything like that. No pink elephants, nothing. I know that there are issues people have who are trying to come off these things, who are trying to stop drinking or doing drugs. Sometimes they'll have hallucinations if they're very addicted to it. But I'll tell you, under the influence, in my experience, I never saw anything, and I just hate that excuse. I hate when you hear that excuse. That's one thing that really it irks me. It basically puts everyone into the same pot. Who sees a UFO? Oh, he must be on drugs, or he must have been drunk, or she must have been drunk, or whatever, right? It's just this terrible. It's just another excuse that they don't, because they can't explain it themselves. They don't want to believe it. The people out there, debunkers, people in the government, that these are the kinds of things they'll say to make people scared to report what they see with their own eyes when these things happen. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to. But I think I appreciate Hayden reaching out and saying, "Hey, look, I've been trying this. I tried all these psychedelic drugs, never saw anything, never had any sort of hallucination, never saw UFOs or any kind of hallucination involving UFOs or aliens. That never happened, right? That never happened to him. But while he, on different occasions, while he hasn't been doing these things, that's when he did see things in the sky. And he has evidence, has the proof to back himself up here. He has some short little video there from Lubbock, Texas, from last year. So I think that's pretty interesting, and I want to say I appreciate it for sending this stuff, Hayden. I hope that people out there will listen to this story and realize that all these years, all these people that try to claim that that's one of the reasons why people might see these things, right? That's all bogus. That they're just trying to make you scared and other people scared into not reporting these things. Because then you'll be scared that's how people will view you. Well, here Hayden admits it openly. Hey, yeah, I tried psychedelic drugs, never saw anything. When I wasn't doing the drugs, I had 3 sightings of UFOs. So that's why I wanted to share this story. I thought it was very interesting. And speaking of UFOs, before we move on, I want to get caught up on the recent Spotify polls. But yesterday, I saw a UFO myself. Now I don't know what it was. It could have been a weather balloon, right? I'm going to play it here in a second. I was out in my backyard, and I all of a sudden I saw. I just want to make it clear what happened a couple of weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago, or actually 3 weeks ago now. 3 weeks ago, I guess it was. I saw in broad daylight. I saw this golf ball-sized object outside while I was standing in my backyard. I talked about this in an episode, and I actually did a poll on Spotify with regard to that. If anybody else ever saw anything, and there was like 4 people who said that, yeah, we saw something like that too. But I talked about it. I didn't have the evidence to back it up. All you have is my word. But then last night I was standing outside. It was pitch dark outside, and all of a sudden I saw this bright round light coming toward me in the sky. It was moving in a southeasterly direction, and I pulled my cell phone out and I started filming it. Now, what is it? It could be a weather balloon. That's what it could be. It made absolutely no sound whatsoever, but it seemed like it was brightly lit. Was it being lit by the sun? It didn't seem like it was really high up in the sky. It wasn't like, sometimes you'll see lights up in the sky, like satellites going up there. This was lower in the sky. This was like, airplane level, low airplane level in the sky. And that's what caused me to pull my cell phone out and start filming it. Okay, I'm going to play the video right now. It's on the screen right now. You can see this is the object right there. You'll see it. You'll see some stars. You'll be able to tell that it was moving because you'll see some stars off to the left and to the right of it. I'll show you a zoomed in version here in a minute here after this thing plays out. But yeah, this thing was moving. It was from where I was standing. It seemed very, very bright. It was circular in shape and made absolutely no sound whatsoever. I might, is it a UFO? I mean, alien UFO. I don't know about that. It could be a weather balloon. I have seen videos where right there you can see it moving through the stars. There's a star right there. There's another star over here, and you can see this little white object moving, this dot in the sky. And it was, I was excited about it, seeing something like this. But then again, I wasn't sure what I was seeing, and it could turn out to be completely, absolutely prosaic, which I am leaning toward. I think that this is probably a weather balloon. I'll show you the close-up version here in a second, but I'll just let this play out. It was less than 2 minutes long of a video. We're getting close to the end now, and here, right around here, it went over my head, and I just turned along with it to continue filming it, and then it eventually just fades away. I couldn't see it anymore. It kept on going off east, and the further it moved east, it just seemed like it disappeared. I felt like I still should have seen it, but hey, maybe it was a balloon. Maybe it finally deflated, if that's what it is. I see there it starts disappearing there, and then it's just gone, and then I stopped filming. All right, and now here's the close-up version. Let's play the close-up version. Here it is. I zoomed in. I took it to my video editing program, and there you could see it right there pretty clearly. And it's circular in shape, of course. But again, I don't know what it is. It's a UFO to me, let's put it that way. Do I think it's alien craft? I have no idea what it is. I'm just sharing it because maybe somebody else out there could say, yeah, well, maybe the National Weather Service had just launched a balloon and that's all you're seeing. That's what it could be. A weather balloon could look like this at night from some of the videos I searched up on YouTube earlier today. I don't know. I guess I'm putting it out there just to share it and also to find out what other people think. Yeah, I could tell you this. Looking at it with my bare eyes, it was completely circular. Now, sometimes you'll see me, like, it looks like the object is, changing its shape. That's just motion blur because I had to move. I was holding the cell phone as steadily as I could at the time. I didn't have any time to set anything up. It was just a surprise object that just showed up in the sky that I found interesting as it flew over my head, basically directly over my head. It was coming toward me, and then it flew right over my head. That's what I saw, folks. That's what I saw. So what do you think? Is it a weather balloon, or is it some sort of a craft containing aliens from other worlds? All right, there you go. That's the object that I saw last night in Pennsylvania. Is it a weather balloon? Is it a UFO? I don't know, but I just thought I'd share it because I talk about UFOs on this show. Why not? All right, now moving on, I want to get caught up on the recent Spotify polls. I guess we're going to start with the episode Government Insiders Call the Secret UFO Program the Manhattan Project on Steroids. I asked this question: do the members of Congress pushing for disclosure know for a fact that we're not alone? Okay, 37 votes so far with 16 days left. Let's see what they say. 10 people or 27% say no, while the majority, 27 people or 73%, say yes. I agree with the majority. I think that they know. I think that they have to know. They've talked about some of these things in secret skiffs, right? Secure facilities where there's no possible way for anybody on the outside to hear what they're talking about. I think that they do know about this stuff. I think it has flustered some of them. I think they're probably a little bit afraid about telling the public about what they know. I think I think it would unnerve anybody. People in Congress, they're people too. So I think that they do know, though. I think that they do know. Especially the people in the UAP caucus. I think that they would have to know by this point. Uh, okay, moving on. For the episode tutorial on how to find NHI in the Las Vegas alien video, I asked this question: have you ever analyzed the Las Vegas alien cell phone footage yourself using a video editing program? There's 20 votes so far with 17 days left. Well, in that episode, I showed you how I search for aliens in that video, and I was just curious if anybody else has tried it. Any of my subscribers have tried it at home, and if they plan on, or if they plan on ever doing it themselves. Okay, let's see what the results are. Okay, only one person or 5% says yes. 5 people or 25% say no, but they plan to. And the majority, 14 people or 70% say no. Well, that's, I guess here's the thing. You could do it if you're interested in doing that yourself. But I mean, we do have the evidence that we've been presenting on this show. But if you're not convinced by what I've been showing you, like the reason I did that show, I wanted to show you how I do it. But I also wanted to those people out there who aren't convinced by what I've been presenting with relation to that case, I'm just telling you that, hey, you could do it yourself. You don't believe me? Look for yourself on your own and use your own video editing program. That was the purpose of that episode. All right, moving on. For the episode ET and UFO Encounters, Missing Time, Lifelong Health Issues, 2 subscribers share their stories. I asked this question for that episode: have you had multiple encounters with UFOs and or NHI throughout your lifetime? Okay, 26 votes so far with 18 days left. Okay. 10 people or 38.5% say yes. That's a pretty high percentage. They have had multiple encounters with UFOs and or aliens during their life. That's a lot of people saying yes. The majority of people, though, 16 or 61.5% say no. Well, of course, I have to go with the minority on this one because I've had at least 2 encounters, possibly more. Some of the other ones I'm not sure of. I know 2 of them most certainly. The first one in the 70s with the alien creature in my bedroom, and then of course in the mid 1990s with the UFO. Then of course there was the incident in Hawaii in 2007 when I had a very mysterious incident with a dog that went missing under mysterious circumstances. And then more recently, 3 weeks ago, I saw a golf ball floating around. I'm not sure. It could have those last 2 instances. I could be wrong. I'm not sure about those instances. But they could involve NHI possibly. The first 2 I'm positive that involved NHI. Right. The other 2 I don't know. But yeah, I had multiple encounters. All right, moving on. For the episode, Behold the Power of the Alien Presence. Also, mysterious UFO image from Arizona. By the way, I received a comment from somebody who said that the thumbnail I used for this episode was, quote, ridiculous, end quote. Ridiculous. All right, I asked this question. Will the human race ever reach a point where it can boast that it has matched the capabilities of the NHI presence? 33 votes so far with 19 days left. Let's see what the results are. Okay, 8 people or 24.2% say yes way, while the majority, 25 people or 75.8% say no way. I agree with the majority on this one. I don't think that we're... I don't see how we could possibly the only way we could get caught up to them is if somehow they go extinct, and then eventually maybe we get caught up to where they were right before they went extinct. That's how I see it. I can't see how we would ever be able to catch up to something that could be potentially been around for 1,000,000 years longer than we've been around. Or they could have advanced technologically, or they could have been at the point where we are right now 1,000,000 years ago. See, I just don't know how we would ever. How could you catch up to that unless they showed you everything? And I'm not sure they have any intention of doing that based on how we treat each other. All right, moving on. For the episode, Las Vegas Man reveals lifelong encounters with orbs, flying saucers, pill-shaped UFOs, and aliens. I asked this question: do you believe you have experienced a lifetime's worth of encounters with UFOs and NHI? Now, this is pretty much the same question I asked in the earlier episode. Let's see if there's much difference here. Okay, 12 people or 25.5% say yes, while 35 people or 74.5% say no. Yeah, I'm with the minority on this one again. All right. Let's see. Okay, now moving on to the most recent episode. More than 20 NHI beings are in the Las Vegas alien video. See for yourself. I asked this question: what would you do if a craft loaded with NHI beings landed in your yard? 36 votes so far with 23 days left. Okay, let's see. There was multiple choice here. Okay, a 1% or 2.8% say they would attempt to scare them away. Two people, or 5.6%, say they would fall to their knees and start praying. Another two people, or 5.6%, say they would run to car and drive away. Four people, or 11.1%, say call the cops and stay put. Seven people, or 19.4%, say other. While moving on, what's the next one? Nine people, or 25%, say video record them, then run. And the majority, 11 people, or 30.6%, say they would attempt communication. They would attempt communication. You know what? That's what I think I might try too. I think I would attempt communication. I'm sure I would be scared out of my mind, but I think I might try to communicate with them. And the first thing I will say to them would be, don't paralyze me. I'm not going to do anything. Just don't do that. Whatever you do, I'll stay right where I'm at, and don't put me under some sort of a spell or try to control me in any way. Let's just have a conversation here, right? How about that? If I don't, maybe I'll try to think that instead of saying it. I'll think it instead. Maybe that won't. Maybe the sound of my voice making this, just the sound of a voice, of a human voice, might scare them because they communicate telepathically. So maybe I try something like that, and then if that doesn't work, or they, I don't know what I would be doing. Quite honestly, I'm not sure. Attempt communication. I don't know. I mean, what else could you do? I mean, I don't think I would be, for one thing, at this point, right? I don't know if I would. I don't think I would call the police. Right. I can understand like the Kenmore family in Las Vegas, or those people back in 1955 in Kentucky, the Hopkinsville incident. Right. I could understand some people calling the cops. I guess it would depend on what's going on. Right. If there were just aliens in the backyard running around, and they didn't seem like they were going to hurt me, well, I would try to communicate. I think anybody would be scared out of their minds. I don't see how it would be chilling. I just think anybody would be terrified. I can't imagine not being terrified. It would be hard not to try to run away. But I would try to communicate. I would like to find out, what are you here? Where do you come from? Why are you here? And what do you want from us? What are you doing here? Are you trying to take over the planet? I mean, what's this deal here? What's going on? Why are you living here now with us? What's going on? Where did you come from? There'd be a lot of questions I'd like to see if they would answer. Obviously, they don't want to answer these questions. They would have done so a long time ago. Whatever they're up to. This is what makes me think this whole thing might not be good. I know there's a lot of people out there, especially in the UFO community, who believe that they could be here on friendly terms, and that might be the case. But to me, right, they're taking too long to if that is the case, they've taken way too long to finally let us know that. To me, you listen to some of the abduction stories, they're like something out of a horror story. That's what it is. It's like reading something out of a Stephen King book. It's frightening. It's absolutely frightening. I mean, you read books like Communion by Whitley Strieber. That's terrifying. The Threat from David Jacobs, terrifying. Another Jacobs book, the Walking Among Us, or Bud Hopkins, books from Bud Hopkins, like Missing Time. I mean, that's frightening. It's frightening, the things that they were able to do to us and the things that they do to us. And there's no explanation for it for the most part. They never made an announcement saying, yeah, we're just here. Don't mind us. We're from this planet. Just stay away from it. Even if obviously they don't want us to find out where they are or what they're up to. I mean, they never even said, hey, just stay away from us. Steer clear. There's no threat like that as far as anybody knows. To me, it doesn't seem good to me. It just doesn't. I mean, if you're creating a hybrid race here, if that turns out to be true, obviously they don't want us to know what they're doing. That doesn't sound good, right? I mean, what are they changing us into? Just subservient, hive-minded aliens? They're going to mix our DNA with some other DNA and change us into something else that obeys them better? That's what it seems like, right? I don't know. Or are they trying to improve us? Or what are they doing? That's what I want to know. I'd like to know if they landed in my backyard. These are some of the questions I would like to see answered. But I doubt they're going to tell. They don't. A lot of abductees who under hypnosis they remember asking questions, right? And they never get any straight answers from these beings. They're hiding something. There's a change coming, but they won't explain what that change is, according to David Jacobs, right? They don't tell you. They don't tell the abductees what that change it will entail. It sounds like the change is coming. The change is coming. I'm not sure if we want to find out what the change. We maybe want to start talking more openly about this situation and maybe try to prevent what this change is. Or maybe we don't want the change to happen. That's what we should be talking about here, maybe. Anyway, I just want to say this. I want to say thank you all for joining me today. Until next time.